Hey guys, welcome to the father and son Caps Precap for the Caps New Jersey Devils game today, February 20th. Last time the Caps took on the Devils, we beat them in Prudential Center 3-2 in a shootout. Ovechkin making moves that looked like TJ Oshie in the Olympics from 2014. The Devils, they don't give up a lot of goals, but they also don't score a lot of goals. So what can we expect from tonight?
Well, you're right. I mean, they're dead last in the NHL in goals scored, and they're second, I believe, in goals against. So I think they're going to play to their strength, and that's defense. Try to keep the Caps, out of the high scoring areas, and I think that they're going to certainly make it tough for the Caps to score tonight. The Devils are not scoring a lot of goals. I think the top two scorers on that team are Lee Stempniak and Mike Camilleri. And, I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be one of those games that could be a low-scoring, grind-out game.
Yeah, I agree. I think another one of those guys that the Caps really need to watch out for tonight is Zajac. He seems to play pretty well against us. I think he has 7 points in his last 10 games against the Caps. Another struggle for us today will be crashing the net and then getting pucks by Cory Schneider. He's going to be kind of tired because they played him last night against the Panthers when they got shut out 1-0. So we'll see how that goes. But Cory Schneider normally plays pretty well against us.
Yeah, he does. He's a really good goaltender. He's an all-star for a reason. The guy can make some key saves at times, and he really makes it hard for other teams to score. What I find interesting about the Devils is, although they're dead last in goals scored, on the power play, I think they're seventh in the league, and on the PK, I believe they're eighth. So their special teams actually is playing fairly well. We don't want a game of trading penalties with them, that's for sure. I do like what the Caps have done, switching up the first line. You've got Kuzi now, and Williams playing with Ovi, I believe, and then you've got Backstrom and Oshie now with Burakovsky on the wing. Makes it interesting, keeps other teams guessing. I like shaking it up. Maybe Coach Trotz thought that things were getting stale, but I think this is a good move right at this point in time.
And it definitely seemed to work last game. It didn't seem like the offense was readable, really, because now we have two pretty much first lines. Both of our top two lines are as good as any other first line in the league right now. You got the Kuzi and Ovi combo, which is insane, and then you got the Backstrom Oshie combo. You got two great passers on the same line.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't ask for much else from that.
Yeah, and I think also shaking it up not only keeps things fresh for the Caps, but it also is a situation where you never know when a player is going to go down, and you don't want them stuck in these lines they've been in for forever without having them have some fluidity between the top two. The top two lines have been locked for quite some time. The only real change being when Beagle went down, they did move Mojo to that third line center where he's really thrived.
That's true. And good news is that we saw Beagle back out on the ice in practice this morning. Even though he's no contact, at least he's getting back out there.
Yeah, that's right. And Coach Trotz said, if he when he hits the ice, it's going to be 7 to 10 days before he plays. So maybe we'll see him in the next 2 weeks.
We might. I won't take that. I won't take that too seriously until he gets that contact jersey back on. But this is a step in the right direction. The big problem is, where do we put him when he comes back? Because it seems like our system's working right now, and I don't really want to screw that up by putting another player in. And I really hate it because I love Jay Beagle, but what we have works right now.
I think it's a good problem to have. I really like Beagle coming back because those defensive zone faceoffs where he thrives are so important, and I think that a lot of people overlook that. I think that's huge for us, and having him back will be certainly something that Trotz would welcome. I think he, perhaps he starts him out on that fourth line, maybe putting him in there. I don't know if he's going to have. We've got a lot of centers on the team. He's probably going to have to move some guys around. Like I said, getting him back and getting him in there and getting situationally into those faceoffs will be big for us. I did see him skating at Kettler. There were some clips they showed the other day. He looked good. I mean, he was skating. He was making moves. He looked really good. But like you said, getting that contact jersey on and getting out there with the guys is going to be a big step.
Do you think Richard's position on the Caps is in jeopardy when Jay Beagle comes back?
No, I really don't think so. He's been playing better and better all the time. I think he's. And by the way, I should make a prediction that he will get a point tonight.
I hope so. I really want him to score against us at least.
But he's going to be valuable come to playoffs. I don't see him in jeopardy at all. I mean, you're going to probably see a guy like Lotta, maybe see a scratch, maybe even a Brooks like. I don't think it's going to be Mike Richards.
I hope it's not. Cory Schneider coming into tonight's game has 49 starts so far this season. Do you think that's going to affect his gameplay at all? I mean, they've barely played Kincaid at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the guys like the heavy workload. I mean, we know that Holtby last year had a ton of work. So I don't see that being an issue so much. Back-to-back nights is a big thing. Usually you see a backup go in those situations. I guess we'll have to see it play out. But a lot of guys, especially after the All-Star break, and I know he did play, although in that tournament, the Metro they were one and done. He did have that rest, but we'll have to see.
That's true. And another point I wanted to touch on was the Caps power play. Last game it looked like we were really working it pretty well. We were able to set up the half ice pretty quick. The passes were connecting, and we weren't just putting Ovi at that the top left circle and trying to snipe every single time. The power play was cycling around. Ovi's goal came from the top where there was a beautiful screen set in front, and that's something that the Caps need to do tonight, especially against a goalie like Cory Schneider, because goals will not come easy against him. He's got one of the better save percentages in the league. It's almost 93. We're going to have to get bodies in front, and that's one thing that the Devils unfortunately are good at doing is clearing the front of the net.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The frustration I've had with the power play is, we seem to get in, and before we can set the half ice up, we're turning the puck over. We're maybe not making the smart pass. Or we're shooting into pads up high. That's one thing that frustrates me. These D-men, they take the puck and they got a guy standing 5 feet in front of them, and they put it right into their shin pads. They got to move laterally. They got to try to get the puck in through to the net, and we do need to get traffic in front. And that's been an issue. But you're right, it's improving. We have been setting up the half ice. And taking some decent shots at the net recently. I think that Barry Trotz has tweaked some things going in with the zone entries. But I look for some improvement tonight. Maybe get one early on.
I hope so. I think one of the biggest keys for a victory tonight for the Caps will be getting a first period goal. We haven't been doing that lately. In fact, most of the most recent games, we've allowed the first goal, and that's something that we definitely can't do against the Devils. It worked out for us when we played them earlier this month, but I don't think it's going to happen again the same way tonight.
Yeah, it seems like the last 6-7 games we're giving up the first goal. We gave up a shorthanded goal. It's one of those things that has haunted us, but we've been able to come back from it, and it would be nice to not only get that first goal, but to take a lead. The Caps are very tough to play against. When you have a lead. The stingiest team in the entire league right now, Washington Capitals, with the least goals against. Of course, they have played less games than most teams, but they are very stingy, and it's going to be hard to beat the Caps if you can get up 1 or 2 goal lead early. We haven't been doing that lately. We've had to play from behind. Not necessarily a bad thing when you can overcome that, but you certainly don't want to make it a habit.
Exactly. I mean, and our record from coming from behind is over 500, but I mean, that's also something that you'd expect from a team who's got, 75% of their games end up with a win.
That's right.
So, my prediction for tonight will be a 2-1 victory for the Caps. I think the game-winning goal is going to come from Kuznetsov, and I think Kuzi's also going to have a 2-point night.
All right, I'll go with that, but I'll say it's going to be a 4-1 with an empty netter, and Chimmer gets the empty netter. Mike Richards will get on the board in some way. That's a prediction, and Kuznetsov will have a 2-point night.
That sounds good to me too. All right, thanks for tuning in with us, Caps fans.
Let's go Caps!
Let's go Caps!